Hello, hi everyone. Good evening. This is Barb Mangami, also known as Coach B, and I am here to share with you a little bit more about our beautiful African spirituality. And so the question I want to look at today is, how does it all tie together? What is the philosophy, so to speak, right? I don't want to call it what are the beliefs, because like I've said before, African spirituality is actually based on knowledge, not on some kind of belief system as such. These are things we know, and these are things, a lot of the things that we're talking about, a lot of people who've been schooled in the Christian traditions have a very hard time conceptualizing this. I always say that genius in life is not being able to take the simple and making it complex, but being able to take the complex and simplifying it. And literally, African spirituality is that simple. That's why it's not a mind game. It's not about things or anyone trying to trick you with mysteries or things that cannot be solved or answered. So I'm going to go right into it, and I've got it all kind of drawn out. I think it's much easier to visualize or to see the flow. So imagine, if you will, that we're on kind of a ladder, right? This is my ladder. You're not going to be able to see me, but that doesn't matter as long as you get the knowledge, right? So at the very top is we have the creator. I'll say the creator. And I'm going to speak in both in three different systems, and I'm doing that because I just want to show you guys how all these systems are pretty much the same wherever. So I've got the system of the Nigerian system of the Yoruba, that's in West Africa, and then I've got the Nguni system, which is South Africa actually, and then I actually have the Karanga system, which is mimicked. You will find this Karanga system in Zimbabwe, but you'll also find the same system where the Karangas originate in East Africa. Interesting, right? So here we go. At the very top, we have the creator, right? This is Umdali. This is I am that I am, right? I hesitate to use the word God, so in the traditions you guys might be familiar with, we'll say this is Yahweh. Because God, like I said, is just a generic term, like saying Mr., right? So this is Umdali. Umdali is also known as Usomandla, is also known as Umvelanqangi, right? Those are all names that are given to the creator. And then in the Karanga system, that is Musiki. Musiki means creator, or Mwari. Mwari also means, divine creator. Then we have in the Nigerian system Olodumare. Olodumare literally means she that bears the womb. That's so beautiful, isn't it? She that bears the womb, right? Or the other alternative name is Olorun. Olorun, right? Then right after that, we have Izithunywa zikamenzi. These are your angels, right? These are actually your angels. And in the Yoruba system, they are called the Orishas. And the angels that you see listed here are things like Nomkubulwani, you've got Sodumo. They all have their own names, and we're going to do a whole section on these angelic beings as time goes on. And then, of course, with the Orishas, we know there's Yemaya, we know there's Oshun, we know there's Shango, we know there's Oya. So these are these angelic beings. Now, note, the angelic beings have never existed on this planet as humans. No. These were created as beings and were never intended to inhabit the human body, right? Then next after that is we have right here, I think it's Amatonga. Amatonga are part of our ancestry by lineage, but there are those ancestors by lineage who are elevated, who are slightly elevated from these ancestors here that still kind of commune with us. These Amatonga are kind of the sleeping ancestors. The word Amatonga or Itongo comes from the Nguni word Ubutongo, which is sleep. So Amatonga are asleep. And in this group is Ebwe and is the Ebwe and Orun. These are your elevated ancestors. So yes, they are by lineage, but they are more elevated. If you like, they're more on their way home, back towards Creator, than these ancestors here. These ancestors down here, right? These ancestors down here, sorry about that, these ancestors down here, these are called amadlozi or idlozi. These are your active ancestors that can visit with you, that can come and communicate with you, that can come and give you messages. And these particular ancestors here are actually messengers of the Amatonga, the sleeping ancestors. So these guys are the ones who are like, hey, you need to go down and you need to tell that child XYZ. So they are the emissaries of these guys here who have earned some rest and they are nicely sleeping. They are not active. You will never hear from these guys, right? Now, in between the ancestors and us humans are the spirits that are in a state of unrest, so to speak. This state of unrest here is where suicide spirits go. This is where the spirits of aborted babies go, the spirit of miscarried babies go. Because remember, just so you know, these spirits that end up here, right, exited this human space either very traumatically, abortion is trauma, or kind of before they wanted to, or maybe they did want to. Nevertheless, there are spirits that are in here until certain things or certain rituals are done for them that will allow them to elevate to the ancestral space. Unfortunately, there's some spirits like the suicide spirits that really will not ever elevate. And in this realm, you will also find the what might be in English called the jinn spirits or demons within the church setup. These are your dark energies. These will be found here. Now remember, these spirits are also created by the Creator, right? But they're not high frequency spirits, good spirits, light spirits, like your angels. No, they're not. They are down here, very low frequency, and they are always kind of looking, you know how the Bible talks about spirits looking for whom to devour? Most times they are active and they're looking for a form. And these particular spirits, they are called izilwane in the Zulu system. These can inhabit anything. They can innovate anything. They can inhabit a human being, i.e. through possession. They can inhabit a snake. They can inhabit any animal out there. They can inhabit an inanimate object. So for example, you see I'm wearing these beads. These beads can be made to harbor a negative spirit. Just FYI, we're going to be doing a lot of stuff about all kinds of things. Just keep that in the back of your mind, that sometimes spiritual artifacts, you got to be so careful because you don't know who last handled them and you don't know what was placed in them or what they were charged with. All right? So I wanted you to understand that. And of course, after us humans here are the animals and the plants. So guys, this is the kind of hierarchy that exists in our African spirituality. And how this works is all of us at the very beginning are with Umdali. We are a part of Umdali. And different traditions have a different story. But this idea that Umdali is I am that I am. Umdali is all perfect, all knowing, has everything, lacks nothing. And then Umdali makes a decision to come down and inhabit a human form, right? Breaks herself off into pieces. That's a creation story in a nutshell. Into different pieces, if you like, of spirit. It's still her, but in different pieces. She's still whole. Comes down to inhabit a human form, is born as a human being. And as they become human, they forget who they are. They come down here to have a human experience and learn to remember who they are. And so in remembering who they are, right, they are able to go back home through this cycle here, right? They go from being a human, they die, they're in here sorting out issues, whatever they need to sort out. We venerate them, we heal them, and we'll help them elevate into this stage. And from this stage, they get to go home. So now remember, they do not become these Amatonga. They do not become these guys, because remember, these are already created and they were never meant to be humans. But these Amatonga eventually will go back home. Now, in African spirituality, we do believe in reincarnation. Okay, reincarnation in the sense that here at this phase, right, you die, you are here, you work out your issues, you elevate, you become an ancestor. And from being an ancestor, you can go back and return back into human form. And the way this is structured is, as an ancestor, when you come back to the same soul group. What is a soul group? Soul groups are those identities of Umdali up here, who signed a soul contract together to come and be with one another in this realm, to teach each other different things. So for example, your family is your soul group. Your friends are part of your soul group. You don't remember, because remember, when you come here, you go into what is called the sea of forgetfulness. And so part of your work is learning the lessons that you came here. So in other words, when we talk about suffering, when we talk about challenges and hardship, one thing we always say in African spirituality is the issue of accountability, which is that you signed a contract, you made a choice to come down as a certain someone so that you could learn from the deficiencies that you had, right? So that you could learn those lessons and come up. Therefore, in African spirituality, there is no judgment. Every failure, every mistake is nothing but an opportunity for you to learn and to elevate, to learn your lessons and to elevate. Because indeed, that is what Umdali comes down to the world in human form as. In other words, we are Umdali, we are creator. Isn't that powerful? You know, the Christian Bible talks about us being made in the image and likeness of God. What does that actually mean? It means we ourselves as we are, not our physical body, but our spirit is goddess. Our spirit is creator. Because we are a part of creator, broken off to come down here to have this human experience. We've made a contract about certain things in our human experience and what that's going to look like. And then we come down here and we live out a certain number of years in that human experience, learning those lessons that we wanted to come down and learn through experience. Experience is a very big part of this. Now remember, the human lifespan is very short, and therefore you're not going to learn all your lessons in one lifetime. Okay? Maybe there's some people who have, I don't know. But most of us will come back several cycles learning the lessons. And this is what we always say. What you don't acknowledge, what you don't learn, you will come back to repeat. That is why anytime you experience a challenge, anytime you make a mistake, ask yourself, what is the lesson in this? The minute you ask that, you will see the lesson. And then what you don't want to do is, you don't want to come and keep making the same mistake over and over again. Because really that means you're not learning anything. How do you know you've learned something? Is when that same situation or challenge comes, you deal with it differently than you did the first time round. That's how you can gauge whether you've grown or you've learned something. So guys, this is in a nutshell the cycle. I am going to, my next live actually is going to do a piece on reincarnation where I literally break it down in a manner that probably will make a lot more sense than this. Is just a general to show you in a schematic form what our beautiful spirituality looks like, what it feels like, what it's composed of. And so this is kind of just the general overview. Of course, I'm going to talk about the different aspects of this spirituality, interactions. I talked a little bit about how we help heal our ancestors who are in this realm so that they can elevate. And I will talk a little bit more about that in subsequent videos as well. I hope you guys found this useful. I hope you guys learned something. Now, before I go, I'd like to give you guys some book recommendations if you want to do further reading. We have here Malidoma Patrice Sommet. You really want to read this book. It's called Ritual, Power, Healing, and Community. If you go on Amazon, you will find all of his books. I suggest you buy them all. Then you've got this one, Of Water and the Spirit. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful story. Beautiful explanations of our African spirituality. And this one is a pretty powerful one. It's called The Healing Wisdom of Africa. This is really, really good as well. And this is one of my favorite by one of, I consider him an ancestor who literally walks with me. This is the great Sanusi Umkhulu Credo Mutwa. Phenomenal human being. Google some of his videos right here on YouTube. Watch them and just be blown away. You come from greatness, African child. And I am here to remind you that, and I don't ever, ever want you to ever forget who you are. You come from greatness. I love you. Take good care of yourselves, and I will see you next time. Bye.